But I don't know. I don't watch your Star Trek, you know?
No, I know. I enjoy it. That's all that matters.
Right. And that's really all that matters when it comes to whatever it is. You know? And I'll plug them. I'm kind of aware what was going on with Pickard.
Okay, really?
Only through watching the Red Letter Media videos.
All right.
Because they're two of the main guys there. World famous Rich Evans and Mike Slakasa. Rich Evans was famous because they found a picture of him as a child at not Chuck E. Cheese. What was the other one?
I have no idea.
They did the Rockefeller explosion about it.
Okay. What's the what?
Do you know? Okay, so we can delve this even further.
Jesus Christ.
You're aware of Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
You're aware of Zack Periwinkles?
Yes, because the Chuck E. Cheese up here was both of those at one point.
So before Zack Periwinkles, before Zack Periwinkle, before Chuck E. Cheese, Showtime Pizza.
Never heard of that.
Okay, perfect. So I never heard of Showtime Pizza myself, you know, because we didn't get it until it was Chuck E. Cheese around here. Showtime Pizza was the originator. There was a documentary maybe about 10, 11 years ago called Rockefeller Explosion. Remember at Chuck E. Cheese, they had like the animatronic things that would sing the songs?
Right.
But I think at our Chuck E. Cheese, it was just like the torsos up.
I don't remember, but yeah.
And then maybe in like the one separate room, they'd have the thing, like sometimes it'd be Michael Jackson and sometimes it'd be Barbara Streisand and sometimes it'd be Elvis, and that'd be like the full body one. Showtime Pizza, Rockefeller Explosion, all this is going somewhere. Showtime Pizza, Rockefeller Explosion was the name of the band at Showtime Pizza.
Okay, because Rockefeller Explosion sounds like a shitty tag team.
Rockefeller Explosion.
Oh, Rockefeller. Either way.
Yes. So the documentary is about people who are going and like trying to find the old Rockefeller Explosion animatronics, rebuild them back up, and bring them back to life. And like while doing that, it tells the whole story of how like Showbiz Pizza came to be, and then it came into Chuck E. Cheese. They don't mention Zack Periwinkles. I think Zack Periwinkles was just like a localized one for us.
Okay.
So, world famous Rich Evans, they found a picture of him as a child having his birthday at a Showtime Pizza. And he's wearing a homemade shirt as a small child that says, Dick the Birthday Boy.
Okay.
This picture, they found it. They made Rich a recreation shirt of it. The picture became a viral thing, so much so that on her TV show before she left it, Ellen and Julia Roberts made fun of the picture.
Oh, well, now he's internet famous.
Well, so the picture was like, and then, that's why he's world famous Rich Evans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next time you get a chance, like, and you're like, oh, I'm going to send out a tweet, go into the GIFs and just put in Rich Evans.
Okay.
And just see some of the fantastic things that Rich Evans has done. But anyway, Rich Evans, Mike Slakasa, they're huge Star Trek guys, specifically the original series, Next Gen, and the movies. Okay?
Okay, fair enough.
Deep Space Nine, they fall off a little bit. And then the other guy, Jay Bauman, is more of like a filthy horror movie, David Lynch guy. Okay.
Oh dear God, double feature for me.
So how did I stumble upon this channel? Okay, so they have been hate watching Picard,
right?
Because they love Star Trek so much and they hate Picard.
Okay.
And they just hate watch the show. So I have an idea of what was going on from the couple seasons of it from watching their video of entertainingly hate watching the seasons of Picard.
Right.
They haven't delved into the new one yet.
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. I keep when when I get my Thursday email, I default to Brave New World for some reason. Is that a Star Trek thing?
No, that was one of like in between a DC like crossover book, not a cross. There was something that was an event. Was Brave New World at DC maybe? So that might be why it's in your phone.
Well, it's not in my phone. It's in my head.
Oh, okay. Then Brave New World was something with DC Comics. I remember that. But yeah. So like, because my problem is with people who bag on Picard is they're like, oh, this isn't Star Trek. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't even. It says so. It doesn't have Star Trek in the title. Picard's retired. He goes off on an adventure without Starfleet. Yes, there's some people who are in Starfleet in his group, but it's not Star Trek. I think they made some terrible choices along the way in season 1, but season 2 redeemed itself with nostalgia and Q, so I was happy. But I enjoy it. So,
and they rag on like Q just showed up a little bit and then he was gone, and then all this other stuff. But yeah, they didn't like it very much. And I get that, you know, they did it for clicks and views, because I don't like Star Trek. I don't know nothing about no Star Trek. I know Kirk and Spock and Scotty and Mr. Sulu. Like, I know the people from, you know, the original cast, right? Right. Just because that's like a pop culture thing that even if you've never seen an episode of Star Trek,
yeah,
or any of the first movies, and I've seen those movies too. I like a couple of the movies.
Right.
I like 2 and 4. We might have had this conversation before on the show. I don't care.
No, that's fine. Did we ever talk about this before?
Maybe. I like 2 and I like 4. The rest of them are either weird or bad. Where was I going with this?
I have no idea.
No, but like even just from pop culture, like that's how like ingrained in pop culture they are, right?
Right.
If you say Star Trek, people are like, even if they've never seen it, they'll like go, oh, Kirk and Spock at the very least, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just base knowledge that I think people are born with after 1990 or whatever. Okay.
Right.
And then Next Generation, I know some of the people. I don't know all the names, right?
You know Bob Wheeler.
No, I don't know Bob Wheeler.
Bob Wheeler was Data. He was on Night Court.
Okay, that's right. I know Night Court characters. Right,
that was Bob Wheeler on Star Trek.
Right.
Which would have been great if that was his character, but go ahead.
So, you know, I get people hate watching stuff. It's just something I could never do. Even though I'm attempting to be roped into a quote unquote bad wrestling podcast by Young Ed from Pod Van Dam.
Oh, you could just drop the bad. It's understood when you say wrestling podcast.
No, he was over the weekend. He was watching a Hillbilly Jim versus Jim the Anvil Neidhart match.
No, he got to watch.
Right, he had the privilege to.
Right.
So he had tweeted at me that he's like, oh, I need to have Joe do a podcast where it just shows me bad 80s wrestling. And I'm like, first of all, it's not bad. It's all good. It's great. But I'm like, I could find like oddities and weird stuff. And then that could very easily consume my life. So enough about this. How was your week, Todd? Did you do anything exciting this weekend?
I went to a couple of Memorial Day picnics.
Okay. Any parades?
I went to the Santa Ubaldo parade and race that we've discussed on here before. And then I went and I recorded another podcast on Saturday night, and I discussed Star Trek and Star Wars, and also watched a famous Italian director who also makes cheese, Sargento. Sargento, yeah, he did Suspirius and the Suspiria or something.
I get what you're trying to do, but like you're off enough that I don't care, I guess. I don't know.
Right. So basically I went over to do Wings on Wings, and then Brett and DJ decided they weren't going to watch Japanese wrestling that night. They were going to watch Billy Bob Briggs.
Yeah, Joe Bob Briggs. Sure.
That one I'm not trying to, but so it was It's one of his movies. I don't know how to say it. It's in Italian. I just call it Trembia or something like that. I don't know.
Tenebrae?
Tenebrae. That was it. So that was on. So I sat down to talk with him while it was on, and Billy Bob Briggs or whoever Briggs was on. I'm just going to call him that. So, but the way I sat, you've been up his house. You know the chair that has its back facing the kitchen?
Yeah.
I sat in that chair so I could look at DJ and Brett on the couch facing the TV. I didn't have to watch a horror movie.
You wanted to watch them?
Yes, I wanted to enjoy them enjoying the horror movie.
Right.
So we ended up discussing comics. We gave Brett an education on when comics became a business. And then every once in a while, I would watch a little bit of the horror movie because it was hysterical. And then whenever it would get icky, I would look at Brett and DJ because, I'm a wuss. And that was the night. So like I said, Star Wars, Star Trek, I don't know. And then they did try to explain some horror to me. So that was fun.
I feel as though attempting to explain horror to you, especially with Brett and DJ's vast knowledge of it, would be a lost cause.
Oh, it was. I also felt it was a little bit of a lost cause trying to explain comics to Brett.
I feel as though that's an easier hill to climb.
Probably.
Because you come to, at your age, you come to anything with an immediate no thank you to start.
What? Me? I'm very accustomed to change at my age, Joe.
Right, exactly.
So
it has to be gradual change.
Yes, like 1 degree every week,
Like I think there's a horror movie out there for you, or at least like a way to like rope you into horror movies. But I don't think Argento's most confusing were the ones, especially with interstitials making fun of them and giving lots of facts about them at the same time.
The facts part was very interesting.
Yeah. See, okay, so there you go.
But during the commercial on Shudder, the commercial came on for one of that I guess Shudder was getting, and I thought it was going to be on Briggs next week or whatever because I didn't see how the commercial started. So it's like, I'm coming up for Briggs next week, but it was just that they were getting it on streaming or whatever. Was the first and second Alligator movies.
Okay.
Which I'm a big sucker for the first Alligator movie.
Right. So see, there's your creature features that we could get you in with.
Right. See, I look at it as poor man's Jaws. Alligator. So yeah. Well, it's like Alligator Jaws to Alligator to like Chuds or something. I don't know.
See, you're missing so much in between there, right?
Okay, fair enough.
So from like whatever, like Jaws comes out in 1975, right?
Right.
And I was actually talking to our local comic shopkeep about this past week.
Right.
Because last Wednesday was the 45th anniversary of the first Star Wars movie,
Right. Also, this week is last week was the 45th anniversary of Smokey and the Bandit. And I missed it.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about so Jaws comes out, and then you get like all the cheapo knockoff copycats of Jaws, right?
Like Orca.
Okay, you got Orca. Then you got Piranha. Mm-hmm. Then, you mentioned your alligators, your so on and so forth. But then it just becomes like any animal. There's one that's called Squirm. Do you want to guess what Squirm is about, Todd?
Is that the wormies?
That's the worms.
Mm-hmm.
There are worms that like are underneath an electrical surge, right?
Until they get bigger?
Well, no, they don't get bigger. They like just appear in places in large numbers.
Oh, okay.
And then they infect a man who becomes kind of like the host creature for the worms.
Oh, okay. I see. That's your bridge. That's your bridging drug right there.
Yeah.
Do you count Night of the Lepus?
Yes.
Okay.
Where they just glued like carpet samples onto cute dogs no, Lepus is the
bunny.
Lepus is the forced perspective rabbits.
Yep.
There's another one. Shit, I can't remember what it's called. But it was supposed to be like these killer animals or whatever it was, like killer something.
Right. I've seen Grizzly.
No, not Grizzly.
But I have seen it.
Oh, shit. And I know we've talked about this before. So the culmination of this is a movie called Roar. Are you aware of a movie called Roar, Todd?
No. Maybe, if you explain it, but go ahead.
Okay. Tippi Hedren.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I believe so.
So she, during her days as a Hollywood actress, got really into animal conservation.
Mm-hmm.
And she and her family, and her husband was a famous director, and I think her kid is Melanie Griffith.
I believe, yes, she is.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have, like, the exact facts wrong, and please correct me, because the brushstrokes of this are just enough, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they have this animal conservation thing in Africa, and it's mostly like, giraffes and zebras and elephants, lots of lions, lots of lions, right? So what they decided to do was make a creature feature movie where the lions go crazy. But the problem is, I don't think these were like trained Hollywood lions. These were jungle, like trying to be domesticated lions.
These were shoot lions.
These were shoot lions, yes. And there were lots of injuries.
Okay.
And when I say lots of injuries, like if you go, and I'm going to pull this up here. And it's a movie that ended up getting scrapped and never coming out. And then recently, and I say recently within the last like 5 or 6 years, like they found a print of it and they showed them at like those Alamo Roadhouse type places. And then it got like a DVD release. And they claim that it's an adventure comedy, okay?
Sounds about right.
I don't think anyone involved in the filming of this were laughing.
Yeah, I don't see anybody laughing. Do you?
Right. 2015, Alamo Drafthouse bought the rights, so on and so forth, and then it got released on DVD not shortly thereafter. Okay. Due to the large number of untrained animals on set, there was a reported 48 injuries over the 2 years of filming. Mm-hmm. Of the 140-person crew, at least 70 were injured during the process. John Marshall, who was one of the other stars in the movie, believes it's probably closer to 100. Okay. Noel Marshall was bitten through the hand during a fight scene. He might lose his arm. He suffered 8 puncture wounds on his leg from another lion attack. At that point, Marshall had already been bit 11 other times. Mm-hmm. He was finally hospitalized when his face and chest were bitten, and he ended up being diagnosed with blood poisoning.
What year is this movie?
It was released in 1981.
Okay, so it was filmed around then, though.
It was filmed in like the late 70s.
Okay, but then what? It didn't come out until the 2000s?
Well, no. So it got Roar was not released theatrically in the United States, because they couldn't agree on distribution rights.
Okay.
It was screened internationally, mostly in Australia and the UK in late 1981. It had a 1-week showing in the United Kingdom, and there were deals signed to release it in Japan, Germany, and Italy that never came to be. Okay. So literally it was released in Australia for a week in late 1981, and then another week in England in 1981, and that was it.
Okay.
And then it doesn't get unearthed again until 2015.
Okay, because when I was looking it up as we were doing this, it says release 2015, and I know they've done like whatever the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, like they sit on stuff.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if that's what happened.
No. But yeah, it's an interesting movie. Even if you just go and look up the trailer for it, the trailer's a trip, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I think it was at that point when they made Roar that someone finally made the decision of like, you know what, we could stop doing the animal attack movies.
Man versus animal. Now, there's the Patreon show I want to do where we start at the pinnacle at Jaws and we work our way down the list of man versus animal movies. You know, like we start at Jaws, all right, then you slide into Orca, you know what I mean? And you work. Now, it doesn't have to like all be animal or water creatures, but you know, then like maybe see if we can get one every 5 years till like we're on like Anaconda, you know, with J-Lo and stuff like that.
We could probably, you know, we could add that to the list of stuff for next year's movie project of like doing animal attack movies, you know?
Sure. As long as they're not, I don't know, too gory, but we could figure it out. Because you'll be looking for the one. Oh, and then the other thing was they tried to get me to watch Pieces.
They're doing the Lord's work.
Right. They're going because DJ was showing me what Shudder was. You know what I mean? Because I understood it was a streaming service, but I didn't know if it was a channel or whatever. I didn't know if it was like if they had channels because Tubi or one of them has like here's just like TV that's on when you put on Tubi, that's what you're watching.
Yeah, there's like here's a stream.
Right, of like Doctor Who, they might have that, and it's like classic episodes. When you come in. But then they also have, like, you could go in and be like, okay, do you have this movie? Do you have that? What do you have? And you could pick them. He's like, it's like both. And he's like, see, I can go just look. And he's like, boom, there's all of Sargento's movies. There's all of this guy's movies, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you can go by letters. And he's like, oh, and there's Pieces. Do you want to watch Pieces? I was like, and that's when I was like, that's the one that they screwed up the order on. He's like, yep, that's the one. So we did not watch Pieces, just so you know.
Yeah, Doug would have to be there to watch Pieces.
Doug was there, but Doug was asleep while we were discussing whether or not I should watch Pieces. So.
Because Doug is the one who wanted you to watch Pieces real bad.
Yeah.
And me.
Oh, and everyone apparently. But I think I won that feud. And then DJ told me about a karate guy, and that's about it. That's all I know about the movie. So.
But I didn't get a chance to listen to your episode of Wings on Wings yet.
No, I got you. That has nothing to do with what was done on the show, but that was the after party.
Did you guys record 2 episodes or just 1?
Yeah, I'm pulling back the curtain here. We recorded 2, and they were recorded out of order.
Oh no!
Right, because they shot this. We recorded the second one first, and the first one second, because they wanted to go in. Because Mayan episode that I really wanted to do, the Legend of Carlton Blanchard, was the second episode, but because they were doing a mild wing sauce, they didn't want to go mild. They didn't want to go hot into mild because then they said what the sauce they had chosen, they wouldn't have been able to taste anything. So they wanted to do it the other way. I'm like, I'm good with it. And like, no, this will be better for us. And I was like, okay, so, you know, they need a Wings on Wings Patreon so you can get in the correct listening order, even though we tried to kayfabe it. I'm blowing it up here. You know what I mean? So.
Well, again, this is a much smaller audience.
Than Wings on Wings, true.
Yeah. So. This is like the boutique show, you know?
Yeah. And you get called out a little bit as the best person in the world. So.
Oh. I saw Kim Cannon's tweet. Like, he's like a second one listener of the Wings on Wings stuff because he has to keep up the spreadsheet of like their scores and all that sort of stuff, you know?
Right, I'll say that here. I always try to do something weird so it screws up his spreadsheet.
Gotcha.
That's my goal, is to just blow up his spreadsheet, but I don't think I did it this time. I'm going to wait for my last appearance, so.
Gotcha. Last but not least, of course, before we put a bow on this, Did you bring Brett his blue cheese?
It's part of the rider of having me on. I have to bring blue cheese. It's in the contract. I don't get paid unless I bring the blue cheese.
Gotcha.
I hand over the blue cheese as Brett hits the button on the PayPal send. So it's like my phone goes ching, and I hand it to him. I'm like, all right, we could shoot this fucker. Like Bela Lugosi, you know what I mean? Here's your blue cheese. Here's your money. Let's shoot this fucker.
His morphine is Brett's blue cheese.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness.
So, how about you? You do anything before we put a bow on this?
No, man. Like, swimming, sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Getting, nothing much. Having I was off work on Friday, and then I was off on Monday, and I'm off this Friday for the wrestling. So my schedule, the schedule in my mind is all screwy,
Yeah, there's something I got to ask you about off mic, but anyway.
Uh-oh. All right. No, nothing much. Just making plans that once school is done, for Ace this week, and we have a free weekend or whatever, which isn't this weekend, but next weekend, we're going to dust off the grill. We're going to get that situated. Ooh. We're going to figure out when Ace is going to have his little friends over and stuff to do little parties and whatnot with his little friends from school. And then I got the Iggy that Studebaker's coming in a month.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'll have to peek in the window that week.
Mm-hmm. I'll send up some smoke signals or something.
Right. So if you're firing up the grill, I think there should be a soon-to-be-named network barbecue at your house. That's the way to go. And pool party / pool party.
/ pool party, yes. I'll make sure it's on the rainiest day of them all.
I don't care. I'll eat wet meat while I swim in your pool.
Gotcha. No food. Oh, no food in the pool. And I'm making a laminated thing of the rules,
Oh. I could get you in touch with my uncle. I'll tell you about his rules someday. That'll be another show. My uncle had a set of rules that he would lay down. At one point, they were written down, so.
Right. But the most important rule of them all is don't splash April if she's in the pool.
Oh. My hair.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This was an After Dark, 394 maybe. Yeah, sure.
Something
all right.
Like that.
Something like that. And hey, patreon.com/Longbox Heroes. I think we're doing. Are we doing? Or did we move the schedule because of the wrestling this weekend?
I have that written down to talk to you after we're off the air. I don't know what we're doing, so.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an episode coming this week. I think we might push things back.
We might have a double. We might have a twofer coming close to each other.
Oh, no. You know what we're going to do? Well, yeah. So, Previewing the Past will be next week for the $5 and up folks, and then we'll do this is not me rescheduling because of wrestling. It's me looking at July as a 5 Friday month and accommodating that. Okay.
This is all new to me, so okay.
Yeah. All right. That's what we're doing. Okay, perfect. Good. And Amazon affiliate link, support us there. TeePublic sale. I don't think there is one, but go check out our store anyway. But most importantly, thanks for listening, everybody.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.